Hi, and welcome to A Punk with Toys. My name is Lawrence, and third time's a charm. You don't know what that's like because you're not sitting here. Maybe, just maybe, we'll see if Roman will cooperate this time. But anyway, what we are going to do, if he cooperates right now, is we're going to look at the G.I. Joe Haslab Hiss carded Cobra Commander. This is the retro card. It's the one that I've been deciding whether or not I should or shouldn't open, and I've come to the conclusion I buy my toys to open, and I'm going to open it. I'm just going to take my time, peel this up, so hopefully I can keep the blister still on it. I can just kind of close it, put it back in the box. So anyway, let's take a look at this. I'm going to tell you what I like and what I don't like about the card. For the most part, it's very likable. So I talked about the other retro cards that I don't like. It just has one giant blister. This one is not like that. I like the fact that you can see the accessories. It is a different size. It's kind of broken right there the same way the original ones were. This is a retro card. It's meant to look like the original, so that's what you should do. Now, I don't really need to see everything, but the way they did it here, it's okay. If you look at the other retro cards, again, you can fit stuff on the side. I'd be perfectly fine with it. So this is the Mickey Mouse edition. Now, I know people have complained, like, hey, you know what? Why would you even do that? That's stupid. You know, that was a misprint. They hated it. You know, you're not upping the value. The point is, everyone says, hey, if it's in a Haslab, it should be something you don't have to have. They're going to redo this figure. Yes, maybe some of the accessories won't be with it, but the fact is they're going to redo it. So this is not something that you absolutely need. It's funny what people do. They complain about something, but then they complain about what they said that it should be. Anyway. All right, so I think he looks good. They put the blister in the back, or a plastic covering, so he doesn't wobble around like an original figure would, whether it be Star Wars or G.I. Joe. I'm still not keen on the helmet. This is the same picture for the most part that came with the O-ring Sky Striker. He has his hairdryer gun. He's got his knife, so everything does look pretty good. Cobra enemy, G.I. Joe. They did leave off Real American Hero because it's worldwide or whatever. And then on the back, you got an actual file card. And the one thing, okay, we all know the complaint on the 5 language, the 5L. Okay, I still have to complain, but one of the biggest issues with the 5 language as it is it makes it really big. It's really tall, and it doesn't look right. This looks right. It's lower where it should be. Now, what I don't like about this is it just has Haslab and then the Cobra symbol. They should have done a cross-sell. They should have done a cross-sell with Gung-Ho, Destro, all the retro figures they've already done. It just would have looked nicer. It would have given you that feel. Or hell, they could have gone back and thrown on the original characters in their O-ring version. I wouldn't have minded that. So anyway, just a small complaint, but again, I'm not displaying it like this. The other thing that I will say, they did use nicer cardstock. Now, this is not the same cardstock that you're going to get with the O-ring. I'm sorry, with the new figure. I know I'm rambling on, but sorry, guys. I know this isn't the same thing that you're going to get. The new ones are going to have pretty much 2 pieces of cardboard with this blister inside of it. So it's not going to match everything that you already got. And they put the white border, which they've left off the new one. Again, certain things I just don't understand. But anyway, let's open the figure. Let him breathe. We don't need another Stinky Pete incident. And this is Cobra Commander. I could only imagine how angry he would be stuck inside a plastic shell. All right. But if you like the content, I got to say this. I've rambled on way too long. If you like the content, take a second. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. And hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop a G.I. Joe video. And at the end, there might be some outtakes to understand what I was talking about at the beginning. All right, so I got them out. Now, I really wish they would have gone the Mythic Legions route. If you don't know Mythic Legions, they make it so you can just slide the insert out so you can open up your figure, put them back in. That's how they should have done it, especially for what we paid for this. It wouldn't have cost very much. It just would have been better in my opinion. So as you can see, I have a couple other Cobra Commanders, including the O-ring, which I will compare them to. No, it is not the Mickey Mouse, but that's kind of irrelevant here. We have the Supreme Cobra Commander, and then I believe this is the Regal Cobra Commander. And contrary to what a lot of people think that, hey, we might not get all these hands when we get the retro, we may not, but understand there's the pointing hand, and we already got the pointing hand. Now the detail is slightly different. This glove looks like it has like, it's smoother than this one, but for the most part, we already have that. And we also have the open hand, which is, well, I guess it's a little bit different of an open hand. This one is bigger, which is probably good because the snake's going to be harder to hold, and I can tell you I have some sticky tack in there. And also, contrary to what a lot of people might think, is we do have a version of the blow dryer gun, which came with Supreme Cobra Commander, which a lot of people don't have. So quickly, since I have that out, let's go ahead and take a look at this. Now the first thing that I noticed, this is really small. I feel like the size for this one is just closer. And as you look at it, it has the little dial there with a very slight bit of paint app. We'll pop it off here. And again, when it comes to O-rings, you just take your time because you don't want to break a thumb. So, now they kind of did a cross there. It's a little different, but all in all, it's pretty much the same. I actually think this one is closer. I think this one actually looks better, to be honest. But either way, there we go. No port for blast effects, but because it's a blow dryer. But it looks nice. And then we're going to have the piece that pegs into his back. It's got the Cobra symbol on the back. And it's just going to kind of plug right in to hold it. Now, what people never really realize is that was actually supposed to be a backpack. And if you look at it, it looks very similar. It just doesn't plug in, and they put a Cobra symbol. Give it some paint apps, but it is the exact same backpack that he's actually supposed to be wearing. Then we got the knife. It's got the gold at the bottom, black handle, and then you have your silver blade. We'll slide that bad boy right in there. Get rid of that. Actually, look at that. The silver or the gold actually match, so you can use it for other ones if you want to. If you want to use it for your Supreme Cobra Commander. So here's the Cobra that's wrapped around the globe. We saw this in the Super 7 version that you could have got for $11 a couple days ago. But there we go. It doesn't look like there's any apps on the snake. And I'm going to try and move stuff. Again, you know how my stuff goes. I'm going to go long because that's how I do things. Technically, he kind of matches Serpentor too. So if you have Serpentor, you can mix and match a lot of these things. They will, I guess, work good together. All right. And then we got the hands. As I already showed you, we got the open hand where he's going to be holding this. Now my question is, how well does he hold it? It's on the left hand. Something you might have to play around with. And to me, this is where you really need the sticky tack. I know I talked about not having stands. I will say this. If I saw someone with stands with these Cobra Commanders, I probably wouldn't complain because their boots and their feet are just not meant to stand. The pointing hand that I showed you, and then he has the two fists. Now let's take a look at our actual Cobra Commander. So, does this helmet actually come off? Because... So it doesn't look like it comes off, which I'm perfectly fine with. So looking at the face sculpt, I think it looks really good, really quick. Neck does move back and forth, down, up. Haven't heated them at all, as you know. T-pose. You got your bicep swivel. It does seem a little tight, so I'm definitely not going to pressure that joint. Maybe just kind of work it a little bit. There we go. Again, hit it with some heat if you're worried about it. You do have the butterfly joints. How well do those butterfly joints work? Well, This one here isn't even working at all. That's because, there we go. So butterfly joints that unfortunately are just there for aesthetic looking. He does have the ab crunch, the waist swivel, drop down hips and the Jean-Claude Van Damme. Then you got your thigh swivel, double pinless joints on the knees. And I can already tell somebody is going to make a complaint how there's a break in the stripe, even when standing straight up. And then you have the boot cut, which I know someone will complain about that, but this is just meant to get the ankle rocker proper. And I showed this before on the female. They did the same thing with Shipwreck, except they hide it a little bit better on the jean. So for the most part, he moves nice and smoothly. You can hear ratcheting. The knife looks like it's already falling down. Always a slight issue. So let's compare him to this Cobra Commander. So before I even put the backpack on him, because you're definitely going to need the backpack, you can see it has a cross strap right there. That pegs directly into his back. It's actually nice and tight. So while we're looking at the back here, pull up Cobra Commander. And as you can see here on the Cobra Commander, it is actually how his backpack is, supposed to be. Once again, so many things that you don't notice when you're a kid because you're just playing with your toys. But this was an actual backpack. So I already kind of showed you. It looks the same. You can see where the straps are at. The helmet looks very similar. You have the knife, which is going to continue to keep falling down. And then you have the belt. Now on here, they put the belt that runs across there because technically it's supposed to be there also. They just didn't put it on here, on the O-ring. And then on the side here, there is no I guess I never noticed. There is no stripe actually running down on the O-ring version. As you can see, it goes all the way down, and the stripe's going to be broken like crazy. And then on the side here, we have the proper stripe. Goes all the way down on his little singlet. Not a singlet. What is it? I forget what these things were called. I just remember them as a kid. God, it was what the baseball players... Stirrups, I think, right? What the baseball players wear. All right. Now looking at the front of him, he has the same belt. I mean, identical. Has little pouches on it. The same little symbol. They did paint the buttons, which is good. Give him some little paint apps there. Obviously a different Cobra symbol. The flaps are bent over or flapped over the same. So everything looks exactly the way it's supposed to. They painted the cuffs, which you can see, these ones aren't painted. It looks like they're, they were supposed to be because they're bunched up the way, showing that this should have been something that was painted originally that just never was. And then you have this top piece right here where he has looks like some sort of communication device. And then even on the neck piece here, you can see where this was never painted, but he has his, I'm assuming, rank and insignia right there. So they did a really good job of recreating it. The helmet, for some odd reason, looks kind of goofy. This was pointed out by Matthew Matson on someone else's that it just, I don't know, it almost looks like it's offset. In some angles it looks right, other angles I'm like, it's not on properly. So this knife is going to drive me insane. If anyone else is having the same issue, if people even open this, let's push this thing up. I'm going to stretch it out, and hopefully it will stay where it's supposed to. All right, so now let's swap some of the hands. Let's throw a pointy hand on him. Hand comes off really nice and easy, which is great. And it looks like you can get a lot of mobility out of this because he doesn't have a cuff that hangs down. So there we got him pointing. Pop this off here. Everything's about to fall off my desk because I bumped it. I don't have a lot of room, guys. I think I'm going to have to do a little tour for my members of what I actually see when I'm doing live streams and videos. So here we have Angry Cobra Commander pointing. I swear one of them has a fist because I thought I had them doing this. Let's try the snake one here. I'm really interested to see how this actually works. Alright, guys. Now, this video is going way longer than I had expected. Go figure. But Roman caused a lot of issues. A lot. So, if we get him in a nice pose, he seems like a much thinner buck. So, to get the snake to look forward, you are definitely going to have to use some sort of sticky tack. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe someone knows of something you can do. I guess you could hold it like this so it's coming out the pinky. I guess that works. So now he's kind of holding it. Neck seems kind of tall. I really noticed it on the female after. You can actually see her all the way in the back there. The neck is huge. Very mecha neck. So there we go there. Take the hairdryer gun. I believe it's supposed to go like this. Actually, it goes the other way. At least on the original Cobra Commander. Plugs in like that. So, I guess it's supposed to go like that. Makes more sense. I don't know why you carry a gun on your back, but hey. So there's your Cobra Commander. Actually, this does stay in if you wrap the snake tail between the pinky here. So we got to get a trigger finger on him. All right. I mean, this guy's got to be shooting his hair dryer. Wouldn't it be cool like if this was an actual hair dryer and like he has it because he does like Baroness's hair behind Destro's back or something? That'd be pretty sweet. He's just totally like, she's just totally cheating on Destro with Cobra Commander because, you know, she knows that he's such an idiot. Eventually she'll be able to take over, which means she'll be in charge of Destro too. Again, I think it looks small. It looks more like a blow dryer than this one. Again, if you take this one here, I'm not a big fan of the gold. I kind of wish they would have just reused this one. I think it looks better. Anyway, there we go. Cobra Commanders all over the place. Retro card opened. Eventually we'll get one without the Mickey Mouse. The knife definitely seems to be a little soft. I didn't really go over how soft the weapons are. It is straight. It's so short, you know, it's almost impossible. You can feel that it's soft. Again, when I feel this one here, it was not like that at all. So they definitely made a lot of changes. Same with the Cobra. It's actually fairly harder there. This is probably harder than, this durometer is probably harder than what they gave us with these. So let's wrap it up. All right, so my final first thought on this retro carded Cobra Commander that only comes with the G.I. Joe Haslab His Tank is that I think it looks pretty good. It's a great job homaging the original Cobra Commander. There's something about the neck that really, really bothers me. It just doesn't feel right. Maybe I think it should be black all the way up. I'm not quite sure. Just something seems a little off. For some odd reason, the helmet almost seems like it's not uneven, but then you look at it and you can't figure it out. It's kind of like Tom Cruise's middle tooth. You don't notice it until it's actually pointed out. Then you can't fully figure out. But other than that, I think they did a really good job. Again, issues with the butterfly joints. They just don't work. They're just aesthetic there now. I'd rather not even have them on there. But all in all, if this is something that you want to pay the extra money to get, go for it. But I think they will come out with a retro card or even a regular one in this style, just no Mickey Mouse. All right, so there you go. That is the retro carded review. And I have to ask a question. How many Cobra leaders can you see in my background? Because it seems like there's a whole bunch. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Listen, if this is something that you really want and you didn't want to get the Cobra, the Haslab Hiss, you're going to pay a good amount of money for it. This is, I believe, the figure that's going to be worth the most money because you do have to tear everything open. The other ones, you know, you can just really pop them out fairly easily. There's no tape on it. But anyway, and if you're just willing to wait, you're going to get this version just without the Mickey Mouse. We know it's coming. That's what they do. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Before I do, take a second. If you're on the social medias, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, A Punk with Toys. I guess I also said Twitter. I won't say X. What a stupid name. And then if you're on Facebook, Punks with Toys, because once you join, you're a punk with toys. And last but not least, if you sat through this video this long, if you like the content that I'm getting, you haven't subscribed yet, I'm not sure why, but I'm going to ask, take a second, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit that bell notification, so you're notified every time I do drop a G.I. Joe video. Now, I'm going to get out of here. Have a wonderful day, but there might be some stuff at the end. Take care. We're going to do it nice and easy, so I'm going to try and keep the bubble on there if possible, so we can just sit back, and if I ever want to put them back in there. But, yeah, there was a decision. I kind of looked at it, and I'm like, you know what? I buy my toys to open up. All right? I buy the... Thanks, Roman. Thanks. Don't mind him. He don't mind you, so don't mind him. Are you done now, sir? He's not sure if he's done. Obviously, it won't be the same. But I buy my toys to listen to Roman, I guess. That's what I do right there. He's just there. He made no noise the whole time, and then I started talking, and he's like, hey, you know what I should do? I should make a little bit of noise.